All right, guys, welcome back to the Humility Vibe podcast. This is where we get unscripted answers from individual. With me on set today, I have someone that you guys would like to relate with. He's one, a marketer, a sports analyst, a gym freak. So, and today, let me allow him to speak it by himself. Let me not talk everything. Boss, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Now, like he rightly explained, my name is Emmanuel Idoko with an I. I'm a Nigerian, and he got one thing very clearly, and that's a gym freak. Not like I don't gym for muscles, but actually I do it just to stay fresh and fit because I don't believe you can be in the right frame of mind if you are not healthy. So health to me, number one, comes before wealth. So that is just who I am in that few sentences.
Okay, wow, nice one. So, in the course of this, our open discussion, we'll be talking about a lot of things. Our topic here is self care and mental health matters. That is, in as much as you want to make that money, in as much as you want to get the whole world in this whole wide world, you need to at least prioritize health. You get, he'll be taking us through that part since he's a professional in that part. I'll be asking a few questions so that we'll get an honest and unfiltered answers. So one of the first questions is what does self-care mean and why is it important for maintaining mental and emotional well-being?
What does self-care mean and why is it important for maintaining
For maintaining emotional well-being.
emotional? Okay, how do I put it? Before we came in here, somebody downstairs was just a woman just passed by the bike and he was telling me, I see that woman ever since she got married, she has been unhappy. That she has been unhappy. And I'm like, okay, why? So we found out, okay, there are some marital struggles going on and all that. But then the husband is not doing badly. But unfortunately, she does not have happiness within herself to even give herself, let alone the people around her. So the way I see it is, you can't give what you don't have. And that is why you must first take care of yourself. That's where self-care comes in. And once you are happy within, then your emotional state and the rest are good to go. I mean, it's a known fact that you can only give people what you have within yourself. So to me, you have to take care of yourself so you can be healthy to the extent when it will now be okay for your emotional and your well-being to be stabilized.
Wow.
That is when people will now get to see, enjoy what God has given you to share. That's how I see it.
Wow, that's looking more like it. So that means for you to be able to balance mentally and emotionally, you need to first of all take care of yourself.
Exactly.
Because the same energy that you have, the same energy that you need to exert to people.
Exactly.
Wow, that is looking more like it. So the second question here is how can individuals identify signs of burnout and stress? And what are some effective self-care strategies for preventing and managing this?
How can individuals identify signs of burnout and stress
Yes.
and steps that can be taken to
To
curb
manage
that?
it, yes.
Okay. Well, everybody knows when you're stressed. Like for me, for instance, whenever I can't sleep properly,
Okay.
I know something is bothering me. My wife, sometimes I tell her something is disturbing me and I can't pinpoint that particular thing. She'll tell me just relax. And I like to play video game on my laptop. So whenever I'm playing, my mind does go and pinpoint exactly that issue that is giving me stress.
Wow.
So most times when you're anxious or you're, you're emotionally imbalanced, sometimes it's not easy to pinpoint exactly what the problem is.
Okay.
Most times you have to calm down. You need to agree first that, okay, I am anxious or I am stressed. What exactly is giving me the stress? That's where you need to go down memory lane to. There's this book I read where he said every day, at the close of every day, it is mandatory for you to lie down before you sleep. Make a mental note of things that you've done throughout the day. Identify the ones you are pleased with, the one you're not pleased with. So by doing that, you can now recollect, okay, this particular thing is giving me stress. Is there anything I can do to change it? Now, for most Nigerians, money is giving us stress currently.
Yeah, that's true.
The question is there anything you can do to change it?
Sure.
So if there is not, okay, the Nigerian political climate is not stable currently. I can't do anything to change it. So it will be pointless if I'm allowing such a thing to stress me. So you need to identify what is stressing you. And then number two, know if it is within your power
To change it.
to change it. And if you can change it, ask yourself, okay, what and what can I do that I can do along my routine that will not change the way I earn my living or whatever, and still solve this problem. So once you are able to identify that, then you can change. Like for me, for instance, there was a time I used to be very stressed. That was before I started doing kickboxing, boxing in the West. So I told myself, what could be the issue? I now discovered I hardly exercise within those periods.
Okay.
So as we're coming in, you see, I put my bike outside. Every weekend, I ride bicycle for 3 days, from Friday to Sunday, just to at least just to get myself in that that healthy frame of mind. And then on Tuesday, Thursdays, I do my kickboxing and boxing. So that way, I have 5 to 4 days of workout within a week. So I've identified my stress and discovered exercise will fix them. If I burn enough calories, if I stay in shape, I won't feel headache like I used to. I will not complain of bad health like I used to. Then my diet as well. Every morning for the past 3 years, I've always had watermelon before eating anything.
Okay. Wow.
I used to have ulcer. It was very bad. I got tired of taking the usual ulcer therapy and the medicine they normally give, and decided to settle for just fruits. And I discovered by blending watermelon in the morning, eating apple and cucumber, for the past 2 years, I've not taken omeprazole or any of those ulcer drugs. So I'm able to identify my own issue. I did something to cope that. The ones I can't, I leave them for God.
Okay. Wow. I really like the detailed explanation that you gave us. Just like the book that you said, they said at every end of every day that you need to recollect everything that happened. Then now you'll be able to pinpoint where the stress is coming from. Then now you now ask yourself, okay, can I face this or not? But a lot of Nigerians have not been doing that. They will just come back, they will sleep and wake up, then the struggle continue the next day. I think that's where the major problem is coming from. So if anybody can really put this thing into practice, I think we'll solve at like 80% of the problem. So moving on, the next question here is what role does self-compassion play in mental health? And how can individuals cultivate a more compassionate relationship with themselves
What role does self-compassion play
in mental health?
mental health?
And how can individuals cultivate a more compassionate relationship with themselves?
Self-compassion, self-compassion. Well, just like we were saying earlier, you can't give what you don't have.
Sure.
You can't be compassionate to others if you're not compassionate to yourself. You get? Now, being compassionate is simple, just the way the adage goes that if a lizard fall for ground and nobody heal him,
Blame yourself.
So I come from a very humble background.
Okay.
And sometimes I try to be harsh on myself, but sometimes I calm myself down. Calm down. Some things are not your fault. A lot of things happened before you came in. A lot of things happened before you came in. So you can't just switch everything just by snapping your fingers. You get? Some things take time to build.
Sure.
So you have to be compassionate with yourself. Most of the problems that we encounter after we're giving birth to, we have foundations of things done before we came.
Sure.
So have mercy on yourself. No, okay, no, we need to start this thing. I can only do my best to change it. You get?
Yeah.
But you can't blame yourself for things that happened before you came in. Things that are within that are out of your power. You can't blame yourself. So for me, most times I tell myself, you don't try. Yes, though there's still more grounds to cover, there's still a lot to do, but the ones you can change, you do them. You are still you are trying your best. You are doing this, you are improving yourself, you're reading every day, you're working out so that you can, have a good quality of life. So I just have mentioned myself like, well, you don't try. Tomorrow, wake up, continue again.
Sure.
So by having compassion on yourself, you are able to be in that good frame of mind to also extend that same companion, that compassion to others.
At least you're really giving us the answers that we require, and you're really knowledgeable in this. So moving on, let's go for the number fourth question. How can individual prioritize self-care in their daily lives, especially when juggling work, relationship, and other responsibilities?
Well, for me, I think life is not lived on the extremes. Let me explain that. Just the way this Socrates or one of these philosophers will tell you that you have to be in the middle for you to say you're living life. Don't be too wicked that everybody don't want to come near you, and don't be too kind that people climb, just manipulate you anyhow. So you have to just be in the middle. Now, your ability to juggle this all these things you mentioned, the relationship, self care, and the rest, is actually to me is what I call success. Success is not having too much money. If you have too much money, and the children you're supposed to leave the legacy for are taking cocaine or they're drug addicts, you failed. You're not successful. So you have to balance it. So when it comes to what you talked about juggling, you can't give yourself self care to the point when everybody around you consider you selfish.
Okay.
If you always think of yourself, that is being selfish.
Sure, sure.
In as much as self care is important, you should not be selfish. That is the balance. The balance there, to me, is what I'm aiming for. You have to do it. Now, you can't prioritize gymming to the point when your wife or your people at home are not seeing you, your work, they're threatening to sack you, and all that, and you say you want to stay fit. So everything has to be done,
In accordance.
thank you, the balance to it. Like for me, I located the days that I would be free enough to go for my gym class. And I felt, okay, this particular day is easy for me. This particular day is easier for me. So I spoke to the gym people and then we came to a compromise. And then, okay, I'll come so day, I'll come so day. That's it. So you have to, like for my family, sometimes outside you can see me put some stacks of tires that I use for boxing. The day I feel going to the gym will cause problem for me and my wife, I drive down back home, I hang my tires, and then I do the same thing I'm supposed to do at the gym. At least she's looking at me from the window, she's happy. So you have to learn how to balance it so it does not, so any side doesn't suffer.
That is, you have actually talked about the misconception that a lot of people have. I want to care for myself. I want to do this. I want to do. Then now they will now forget that you are not just the only person there. You need to at least carry other people along. In as much as you need to show yourself compassion, show yourself love, show yourself everything. They will just be focused on their own. Then forgetting the most important things. So we're moving on to the last question. What are some practical self-care techniques that listeners can incorporate into their routines, even with limited time and resources?
Well, I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for myself because I've only lived my life.
Okay.
So, like me, what I do every morning when I wake up, before I take anything, I take a full glass of cold water, not ice cold, but chill water just to settle my stomach, acid, and the rest of them. Thereafter, I go take my fruits, take my watermelon, my apple, and then the next thing I do, my wife knows me. Once I grab my book, I'm going to the restroom because that's the only place I can have peace where the child will not come and disturb me, nobody will disturb me. So I stay there and read for at least 30 minutes every morning and every evening when I come back. So 30 minutes, or I target just 10 pages in the morning, depending on the volume or the fonts of the writing. I target 10 or 20 pages because in the day I have to read 20 pages. So once I do that, I leave home with this calmness. Like, okay, I like to learn something. Okay, I've learned something. So, okay, how do I plan my day before I go out? I write, okay, I'll do this, I'll do this. So if I follow what I write, most times I discover I don't stress myself. So if somebody, let's say a friend calls me and they want me to help him do something, I did not plan you in the day. So I'll see, okay, do I have a spare time? If I don't, I'll apologize. Can we do that tomorrow? So the next day,
You plan against it.
yes, I plan with that person in mind. So I try as much as I can not to deviate from how I intend to go around my day because that is where most of my stress comes from. Because at the office, my boss will be like, "Man, do this." They keep telling you things that you did not plan. So I try my best to make sure I live within what I've planned because by doing so, it reduces my stress. And then, of course, taking my food and I eat when I'm supposed to eat because I don't take breakfast. Once I do that food, I wait till lunch. Once I do that lunch, I only eat breakfast the day I'm going for training to the gym so I don't faint. So once I do that, eat when I'm supposed to eat, do what I'm supposed to do, sleep when I'm supposed to sleep, I think the rest will be taken care of.
I think you have really educated us enough because they say that the air that we hear is not until it's as big as a house. The air that we hear. So I believe that they are listening to us and they are listening to you. If they can really plan out their day, at least I understand you. At least I commend the effort of reading every morning and evening. Yeah, in order to add to your listen to your IQ, and that has kept you because you have a lot of knowledges. So at least I think I will embed that one into my own schedule
Oh,
to
that's
read
good.
every day because coming here I've learned one or two things. Then and the other thing. So I believe they are here listening to you, so they will also imbibe and join us in this. So guys, it has been a smooth ride listening to us. I pray you guys will put in your efforts into this. As you are caring for yourself, care for others, but prioritize yourself first because if anything should happen to you now, nobody will come for you. It's only you and the people in your cycle. So try as much as possible to look out for yourself and the people in your cycle and spread love in the little way you can. Look after yourself. Be healthy. I love you guys. See you next time.